Hello, Maria. Thanks so much for your Mozart performance. There's lots of many things you did really well in this Mozart. It's hard. Mozart is so difficult. People don't realize how much goes into Mozart and how many things there are going on sort of behind the scenes that a person just doesn't realize. There's so many technical challenges and hurdles to overcome in this Mozart. This is a notoriously difficult sonata. I think you're doing really well with it, though. Thank you so much for all of your memory work. It was really very securely memorized. Good for you. Because there can be challenges here. I know when I've taught this piece before, well, sometimes students will get confused between the different sections and go off on a different exit ramp and find themselves back in a different spot. But you didn't do that. You had it very, very securely done. So good for you. I really appreciate your musicality. Maria, you have, it was very gentle, it was very expressive, and you had a lot of different dynamic levels, but not only that, but just different characters starting to develop really nicely for you. So I think that's a really good starting stone for you here. Again, there's many things that I can tell you about and hopefully shine a little light on and help you to overcome some of the technical difficulties of this movement, because there are many. I liked your opening theme here. I thought it was very expressive and you had good balance here. I would suggest using some pedal. Okay, there was definitely more room for pedal in Mozart. Mozart's instrument definitely had a pedal, so I would be utilizing that more. It just makes your life much easier. One of my teachers told me that to always pedal the ends of slurs in Mozart, and I found that to be extremely valuable piece of advice. It helps the phrase ends not to ever sound clipped or heavy, because you can get away with releasing them a little bit lighter, and then the pedal will help them to still sustain. So that's what I would do in here. The other thing about this movement and Mozart in general is it has to sound very effervescent and very light. It should never sound heavy. There should always be a way to make it so that it's lighter. Again, Mozart's instrument wasn't capable of producing the same amount of volume that we can with our modern piano. And if you can just always, almost like you're always feeling like you have, you're sitting up constantly, and you're almost conducting in this way, that your arms come up that way. It really does help the sound. Having said that, you also need to have a good technical approach at playing all of the sixteenths evenly and getting them all to speak. I recently attended, and I have been attending, workshops and lectures from the Dorothy Taubman School, and I have really learned a lot of invaluable advice on how to play much more evenly and equally. And sort of what I tell people now, rather than going into it, because it's an extensive, long program, and I haven't hardly even touched the surface of it. But a good thing to remember is that you want to be able to develop equal sound on all 10 fingers. That was Dorothy Taubman's big mantra, was she wanted to give every pianist the ability to have 10 equal strong fingers. And I thought, great, that's really what I'm after as well for myself and my students. So the main thing that I tell people to think of is, if you can practice your 16th. See, I always put my arm, I tell my students also, I do the same still, put my left arm, or whichever arm you're playing with, on the back of your elbow. You want to be able to be playing with your forearm. Now, even when you're playing, especially when you're playing quick notes, you can even start with just one note at a time. Even when I was warming up to play this Mozart for you, this is what I was doing. I was doing, these are called drops. And you just drop, and you're going to use the whole weight of your arm so that you have that behind every finger, okay, when you go to play. And then when you're doing, 16ths wrote in here. As you can see how I'm dropping on every single note and using my arm, not just relying on my poor little fingers, because our fingers are of unequal lengths. So when we're going to play fast, if we're just keeping them curved, some of them are going to strike the keys with a quicker attack because they're just a little bit stronger fingers. Some of them are weaker, like our fourth and fifth fingers, because they share this bone right here. They don't have the same equal strength. So that's the thing that you want to try and develop here is I would do a lot of staccato. See how everybody sounds equal. You can try that at home. I would definitely give that a shot. I would practice everything in here that way. So okay, so you have that, and you learn how to not be holding on to tension in your upper arms or anything, because that can happen. We have to play a bunch of fast notes and kind of freeze up. So that would be the next thing I would want you to work on there, is just getting all of that really evenly. And then playing this a little bit softer here the second time. So the first one can be louder, and then this one maybe a bit less. And then cheerful again there. Now this part is challenging. This is very difficult in here. Okay, so the idea is, you can't quite see my left hand. I'm just going to move this a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. Okay, so here. Okay, when you play octaves, you want to watch that your hand doesn't stay stiff like this. You want to have them released. A good thing to do is to practice pretending you're picking up a Kleenex, okay, with each one. So that you have that. So you have those drops that I was mentioning with the other hand, but at the same time, you're drawing your fingers together, because if they stay extended, guess what's going to happen? They're going to be heavy, and they're going to get heavier. And we want that part to be really nice and light there. So you've got... Okay, then, I don't know if you noticed, but the next thing that I did was in the right hand. And then this was lighter. That came lighter again as well. Now then I grouped these, because otherwise it's just a great big long difficult thing. So that was a little crescendo in there. You have the next one. And then the next one. Okay, so you can try that. I'll just move this back now. Okay, so that's something I would try, because that part can be quite scary. I really liked your second subject, how you started in here was nice. I would use more pedal though, because you have this duet going on, and you actually handled that really quite well. I would get softer, and then crescendo going back up. Always follow the contour of the line. If it's getting lower, get softer. If it's rising, getting louder. Okay, so this is another tricky part to keep together, and up to tempo. This is rotating of your hand in here. So, and what I'm doing here, I'm kind of throwing my hand across in order to get those to work. That's another technique that I've learned from this Taubman studies that I've done, is just this kind of a motion, like what you do. It's good to do this up in the air, and then to go just going back and forth, because Mozart, we need this so much. We need to be able to do that really quickly and really easily. And I know you can do that, because you're a very good musician and you've got really good fingers. Okay, so it's just here again. So actually I should say, before you do the rotation, do these drops like this. So your hands are really getting that equality of sound. Plus your hands are also more loose. They're not getting sort of tense and stiff there. So you're... And it's quite easy to do. That really does help there. So now I would watch that these don't be suddenly really a harsh forte. We can get away with that in Beethoven, but in Mozart, it's got to be always tempered with a little bit more elegance there. Okay, so think maybe mezzo forte, and think that each one that you get, it's gradually louder because it's getting higher. Take a little time at the top and voice the tops more. This is tricky also. More staccato practice will also help there. Pedal, pedal. Pedal will help to get a nice crescendo there. Time at the top again. Don't be afraid to take some time. Definitely you need time to point out the high notes in Mozart. Think about these are almost like little bits of laughter. Picking them up again, so try that way. Okay, this part is also tricky. Again, I find that if I'm thinking almost of lifting up from where I'm sitting from, that can also help get these trills and get these things to work. And then here, same. That'll help that there. Pedal that also. I would pedal this definitely. Get softer. Now this part you really want to watch up, and then release with the pedal right there. It helps it to feel really nice and light, weightless. Okay, now we've got your development section. Okay, I would like you to think of this very conversationally as different instruments that they're dialoguing with each other, and pedal the repeated notes in the left and the chords. Oops. Sorry. Okay, so anyway, I like this next part that you did. Softer. That part was really good. You could even make that a little bit lighter. And then this was really nice here. This is like a full orchestra coming in. Maybe be just a bit louder and then decrescendo and slow down a wee little bit here. Now, it's marked legato. In this part, I actually think it sounds really cool. And now here, this is not marked legato, and I heard a recording do this detached. I think it's really neat. Then you're back to your. Remember to pedal the ends of those. Okay, I can skip some of this. This is all the same. Yeah. So it's basically all the remainder of this is just your second theme back in your home key. So you know what to do there. Just check that you don't rush. I'm at 112. Same thing there. Just watch that that's not hurried, and then back. Okay, so don't be afraid to release the notes. Okay, it does have a really nice, again, really fun Mozart cheerful joyfulness to it. So anyway, there's lots of things. I'm sorry this is so long, but there's a lot of things to tell you in that sonata. So anyway, great work, Maria. You're just a wonderful musician. I've really enjoyed hearing you. I would love to have heard more performances from you. But all the best to you if you're taking a level 9 exam. I hope all goes really well. I'm sure it will. And just thanks so much to you and your teacher for all of your hard work and your great preparation. Thank you.